So there's one thing that might be stopping you from setting appointments, closing deals right now, and I'm going to go through that right now. So my story. I used to be a conformist. I would always try and adapt, especially in professional spaces. My friends crowned this the business voice, and it was a way of speaking that was different from, the usual way. Like I'm speaking to you right now. It was honestly a different person. So it screwed me. This conformist attitude ended up like absolutely costing me when I first started my own business. I had worked in a restaurant, so it was important that I conform. But when I started my business, I was trying so hard to do everything right, but no results were coming in. I was barely getting appointments, scraping, one, maybe two appointments a week. And on those appointments, like actually getting on the sales calls, I was just absolutely bombing. I was getting hit with the same objections over and over and over again, and I couldn't figure out how to beat them. I didn't know what the issue was until I decided to watch back some of the sales calls. I realized that I was a clone, a bot, or an NPC, and I was just saying things that I thought everyone wanted to hear and was seeing the detriment. So, as an example, I was saying, hey, I can guarantee you X amount of appointments in X time or your money back, or oh yeah, we can solve that 100%, and just everything's going good, everything has a solution for it. And this bothered me a lot when I realized I was this bot NPC type of person. The whole reason I wanted to start a business in the first place was just to be different, right? Why was I conforming and following others based on what I'd seen on YouTube, what I'd seen in a course? That's the same 9 to 5 lifestyle I was trying to avoid, just in a different lane this time. And it led to me producing my first quote unquote cringe video. So I struggled to post it. I was scared. I thought I was going to be made fun of, even though I pretended not to care at all and thought I was this confident macho. I'm not going to tell you how to be confident, though. That is something you can develop for yourself. But this story led to me developing one thing. This one thing is the reason you're watching this video right now. This one thing is the thing that's stopping you from setting appointments. This one thing is the reason why you and I can do anything in the SMMA business space just by, being authentic and having some authenticity. Why though? Why does being authentic matter? Everyone only really cares about you being good. So what does the truth matter? And the answer is that that's completely wrong. So being 100% and authentic and transparent is a superpower. The ability to convey who you are and what's actually going on inside of your head, what you're dealing with, is better than any other front you can put up to the business world of you being this perfect person. Because everyone's already pretending to have their numbers, talking about how good things are going, how great their team is. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? That's amazing. But everyone, and I mean everyone, is doing it. So what if you just told them the truth? Told prospects how old you are, told prospects your experience, told prospects your story. How would they look at you different, and how would they treat you different if they knew? Right? If the car detailer on the other side of the line knew that you were a 17-year-old who is about to go to college but really doesn't want to because you don't want to put your parents in debt, and you spent your whole life trying to work up to get enough money to go, and you just don't want to put your parents back in debt and see all these bad things happen, how would they look at you differently? And that right there is the answer, and it's a lot better, right? The truth is that a lot of people are genuine and great in business, right? That's the reason why they've built up to where they are. Especially if you're speaking with a successful business owner, they are there because they have taken good actions, they have helped other people. So if they knew who you were authentically, similar to a family or friend, they would know you're going to work your absolute hardest. They would know you have no other option, and they would know, like, and trust you with their business. And that's why it's so easy to sell to connections and family. If you ever started a lemonade stand or a clothing brand, who were the first people that bought from you? It was your family and your close friends. And the reason why is because they know your story. They know who you are. So now I want you to imagine that you were like that for your prospects and sales calls, and they were like family and friends to you. And this takes me back to the old me on those sales calls where I was getting rejected. I remember the prospect kept asking for case studies and testimonials, and I was empty handed. I had nothing. I'd say, oh, I can get you it after the call. And then after the call, it'd be crickets, right? I might send them a little testimonial of like a little free trial client I worked with, someone I helped. But that's not really a result, right? That's not going to help me. Prospects were viewing me as a potential service provider and not a human being. So I got robotical and logical answers, which are great, but not in this situation because I didn't have any case studies or experience. So I was getting looked at like a robot that doesn't work and is just completely going to break down. And I remember one time a prospect stumped me, and this was after the third or fourth sales call. And instead of trying to bob and weave the case study like I was doing before, I was fed up. I took a deep breath and I said something along the lines of, hey, I'll be honest, I'm just a 16-year-old from Canada trying to start my business, and that is exactly why I'd be willing to insure and do anything in order to get you success. And right after I said that, my heart sunk into my chest. It went absolutely crazy. So, the prospect paused. 30 seconds of silence. It felt like time had frozen. My heart had left my body. In, out, in, out. I had no clue what was going on. Like, even talking about this right now is making my chest tense up. And the prospect's next words were, well, what's your price? And this absolutely blew me away. And it was how I landed my first client, right? I was a little bit flustered after that moment. But what I realized is that I had cracked the code. It taught me the power of truth. Humans aren't perfect. Everyone knows that. I know that Elon Musk isn't perfect. I know that Bill Gates isn't perfect. No one is perfect. And everyone is pretending to and only showing their perfections. And it leaves unease when you see this because you know it's not the whole story deep down. So just seeing only the good things, you can assume and try and make up the bad things or completely disregard it and view them as a robot, not as another human being. And that's why being honest and showing your flaws and showing your current situation increases relatability, which makes people like and trust you, and everyone wants to do business with someone they like and trust, and your life will become a whole lot easier. And I would apply this to all aspects of your life and your business. So leverage your stories in doing this. What systems am I currently running that I can implement a story into and do it? Add them right now. And this is obviously a rule of thumb. If you're playing something like your current situation or anything where you want to put up a good front, might not be a good idea because that means that the opponent's going to know your strategy. But as a general rule, and in case you don't believe me that this works, I was recently helping wrap up the first class of the RSC 30-day challenge. This is a place where people will come in and work to get their first client from absolutely nothing. And out of the 103 people that came in, 81 got their first free trial client, and 9 others are still trying to actually work. The other 10 just didn't apply the information, ended up dropping off. And all of those 81 and the 9 that are still working to actually get their first client all leverage authenticity, their story in sales. So they give their situation when they're setting appointments and they tell their story on the Zoom call. And it works. 81 of them got their first client. And the way they do this, and I'll just give you a little wrap in because I know it's paid, so I don't want to give away too much. But the outreach script is something along the lines of, hey, da da da, this is me, this is my situation. I was wondering if you'd be willing to X for Y, right? But the first thing all of them do is tell their story before they make an ask of the prospect in any way, shape, or form, which makes them authentic. And it goes down all the way to the profile and even how they position themselves, which actually helps them get that appointment. So, what you want to do if you're putting up a front in your business, maybe even just general life, is just try dropping it. Try being authentic, try being honest, and I guarantee you will. See you next time.